Conch is a small community in Newfoundland in the northern peninsula. If you drive from my house for about 4.5 hours, you come to a gravel road that's 26 kilometers long, and then you go down that and you get to Conch. Conch has no history of radio because they don't get any radio signals. They're holding on faithfully. We've done some radio events in Conch. So we take in a portable transmitter, get a license through Industry Canada, and broadcast for several days. There's a French Shore Historical Society there. They play music eventually. My gosh, it takes forever. I don't know if you hung around Newfoundland Kitchens, but everybody plays, but they're not going to play for you until pretty late at night. And so most of the people have gone home, the mainlanders and so on, or the city folks. I remember one night we're trying to get Mary Byrne, I think her name was. She was 84, bless her, and she just wouldn't sing until about 2 or 3 in the morning. And then she got enough whiskey in her. Anyway, so where was it? Conch. So Conch, they also have a Facebook page there that has been set up for all of the people from Conch who live in Alberta and so on and so forth. And it's monitored and maintained by a person in Conch. We used Facebook in the early days, and we would try to create a Facebook page for each broadcast that we did, but it was all very artificial because we were creating the page and we try to get people to put content on it and so on and so forth. And Facebook like that doesn't really work. It has to kind of come out of a community that sort of defines itself as a community and so on. So we did a webcast, and they started using Facebook a bit, and we thought, oh, that's nice, good for them. But we realized then at one point there were 85 households there. 84 of them were listening to us on the internet. And there's always somebody who doesn't listen, whatever. But the radio, nobody was listening to it at all. In fact, at one point, we realized the FM transmitter wasn't really working very well. And Fred Campbell and I were working on it. We realized we were the only ones who cared about the FM. That everybody else was listening, even in the community, listening through Facebook. So Facebook had a link to the webcast, because we always webcast at the same time. And we started getting people who were... So we had this community party. And so you'd have people from Alberta who would see some pictures on Facebook. They'd say, oh, I see Uncle John is there. Can you get him to sing the song about that dog? And so somebody would tell Uncle John, eventually, he'd sing the song about the dog. So they'd hear this on Facebook through the webcast. People were posting pictures then as well. And so there was this community that was created between Conch, this tiny hamlet at the end of, the beginning of the road, I guess, and places all around Canada and beyond. And we talk about these places as being outports. And an outport is anywhere other than St. John's, basically. But at that point, it struck me that this is a net port. This is not an outport. This is totally networked and connected in with everything else that was happening. People in Alberta were writing in and saying, I'm going to call in homesick. To see there's 5 hours, 6 hours difference, so they were going to have to go to work or whatever. And the connection that happened there was really strong, and it renewed my faith in Facebook because it made me sense that, there can be community. Facebook doesn't create that community. That community existed. Facebook was a tool that they used to maintain their connections over time and over space. I've been thinking about Facebook as a tool, and that's how we've been trying to do it. And likewise, community radio, when we do the community radio events, like the short-term events, some communities it just doesn't work in very well. Because we're trying to use it as a tool and create a community. Come on, guys, patting people in the back and wanting to sing. And if that doesn't exist anyway, it's not going to work. Radio is magical, but it's not quite that magical. So I think that's the piece about, maintaining a community. The community radio can do that. In this case, using the internet as well.